Hello. So I'm back in the United States. I'm back in my room in Boise, Idaho, which is where I'm from. So long story short, I sailed on the spring 2020 voyage of semester at sea. I just got back into the US like 2 days ago. Obviously, this voyage took place during the coronavirus outbreak. I've been getting a lot of questions about how the virus affected semester at sea and what kind of happened with the program. So I just want to address some of those in this video and kind of tell people like what's going on. Our original itinerary was we were supposed to go to 11 countries. So originally, the plan was depart in Mexico and then stop in Hawaii, Japan, China, Vietnam, India, Malaysia, Mauritius, South Africa, Ghana, Morocco, and then disembark in Amsterdam. I was so excited for it to go to all those places. Like, I specifically picked this voyage for a lot of reasons, but I was really excited about the itinerary. So we were originally supposed to go to 11 countries and we actually only ended up being able to go to 4. We got off in Japan. Everything was fine. Keep in mind, we had very limited access to internet. On the ship, you get 7 minutes of Wi-Fi a day. So we didn't really know exactly what was like going on in the world, which honestly was one of my favorite parts of semester at sea, was you were so like disconnected from everything. No one was ever on their phones, like you were just spending time with everyone. But we didn't really have a lot of information about things such as the coronavirus outbreak. Also, keep in mind that at this time, the coronavirus wasn't in the media like it is now. It was not a well-known thing, like people weren't talking about it. Our second day in Japan, we got an email saying we've decided to not go to China. We have more time in Vietnam, but we're just not going to go to China. A lot of us were kind of confused just because we didn't really know what was going on in China. At that time, there was a lot of misinformation coming out of China saying that the virus was under control and it really wasn't that bad and they had everything handled, which obviously like wasn't true. It turns out that the reason we didn't go to China was because someone who works at semester at sea is friends with someone who happens to live in Hong Kong, and their friend called him and said, you can't come here, it's really bad, it's like so much worse than it's being reported on. So that was one of the big reasons why we didn't end up going, which is crazy. So thankfully we didn't go. I was really excited to have 2 extra weeks in Vietnam. Some people were really upset. I know a lot of people were really dead set on like seeing the Great Wall of China. We were kind of like, all right, we're gonna make the best out of it. We don't know the situation. So basically we get back on the ship after Japan and we head straight to Vietnam. When we were in Vietnam, we kind of thought that China was really going to be the only itinerary change. We're in Vietnam. At that time, like news reports started coming out more of coronavirus. I don't exactly remember the timeline of like when on our trip we got news that it was getting really bad in Italy. The second to last day in Vietnam, we got an email from semester at sea saying we're reconsidering going to India and Malaysia. We were really sad. I kind of thought like, oh, we're still probably gonna go. Like they're just maybe saying that just in case. And then we get back on the ship and I still remember it. It was in my 8 a.m. econ class. In the middle of class, this girl is like, we just got an email about the itinerary change, and the teacher completely stops teaching and is like, read it out loud. So we found out that we weren't going to go to India or Malaysia. That was a really sad day. I will say on the ship, there was a lot of tears. A lot of the students were upset. The faculty and staff was upset. My friend Raj is actually from India and he was like super excited to visit his family there. And so he was really upset. I think that's when it set in that things on the voyage were really not gonna go as planned. I was really disappointed because I was so excited to see the Taj Mahal. That was something that I was really looking forward to. My friends and I had like just booked our whole tour in India. Like we were gonna go to the Taj Mahal for sunrise and sunset, and we were gonna hang out with elephants for a whole day, and like we were booking our hotels and stuff. We had to cancel everything. Once again, coronavirus still wasn't really in the media at this point as much as it is now, so we were like confused about like, is it really necessary for us to like not go to India? Semester at Sea said we think it's really important that we get out of Asia in order for us to still be able to get into Africa, because if we keep going to Asian countries, we might get denied from our later ports in Africa. So we're just kind of gonna like skip Asia, the rest of Asia, and go to Africa. I think it was the first time that we were really made aware of like how serious of an issue this was. People started talking about maybe wanting to get off the ship. There were a couple people that were like, I'm gonna just leave from the program at this point. The next place to let us in, people were like, I'm booking a plane ticket and I'm flying home because I don't want to get stuck quarantined in like a foreign country. It definitely changed the vibe of things. A lot of time was spent being like stressed about what was going on, stressed about the itinerary changes. A lot of talk started circling about we're gonna get quarantined. You know, this was around the time that the Diamond Diamond Princess was stuck off the coast of Japan because someone on it had coronavirus, we started thinking, we're on a cruise ship. Like, this isn't good. A lot of countries at this point were imposing travel bans that said, like, no cruise ships. We're not letting cruise ships in. And we're here on this cruise ship and we're like, great, what are we gonna do? Like, no one's gonna let us in. And everyone on the ship was freaking out about getting quarantined. We're not gonna get let in anywhere and we're gonna have to get sent home and like we're gonna be stuck on the ship for weeks. Like, it was just a really uncertain, kind of like scary time because no one really knew like what was going on at all. No one knew what was gonna happen. So they added a port in Seychelles, a cluster of islands in Africa. We're on our way to Seychelles and we're all excited for Seychelles. We like booked everything, like we were so excited. And then the day before we were supposed to get to Seychelles, the government of Seychelles sent Semester at Sea an email saying, you're actually no longer allowed to dock here. We're really worried about getting corona. It just kind of got worse after that. Like, people were just really upset. That was another really emotional day because people started being like, now we can't even get into an African port. Like, the whole point of skipping Asia was so we could get into Africa. People really started kind of freaking out a little bit. People lost a lot of money too because when you book things that far in advance, then you cancel them at the last minute. A lot of times you don't like get all your money back. Sometimes you don't get any money back. I know some people that lost a few $1,000 in Malaysia and like Seychelles just from booking things and then not being able to get money back. We actually ended up getting the day off of school the next day. They realized how sad everyone was. So we had the day off of school. We had a pool party. My friend Ryan was DJing and everyone was just hanging out at the pool. It was much needed. So that was really fun. That was actually one of like my favorite days on the ship. Normally there's a pretty short time in between ports, like on a normal voyage, but on our voyage, we had like a couple periods where we were at sea for about like 2 weeks. It was definitely like the most emotional environment I've ever lived in, and I did live in a sorority house with like 80 girls, so I know emotional environments. It was hard because even for me, like I've looked forward to Semester at Sea since I was 7 years old. Like I'd been talking about it for 14 years and you know, you're finally on the voyage and then like nothing's going as planned and there's a health crisis and you're stressed and you're scared and you don't know what to believe. Once again, a word spreads on the ship in 2 seconds, so you would hear like a rumor that this country is closing its borders. Another thing about rumors on the ship, every single rumor about port changes was true. I knew about every single itinerary change like at least 12 hours before it happened. And so it got to the point where if someone was like, oh, I heard this, I would literally just la 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 la, like I don't want to know, just don't tell me. I'll wait for the email to come out. So then we had a big shipwide meeting and they added Mozambique as a port and said we're now going to Mozambique because Mauritius probably isn't going to let us in. And then like it got changed, so we were going to Mauritius and then not going to Mozambique. We went to Mauritius for a day. Like we got off for like 12 hours, got back on the ship, went to sea for 2 days, and then went back to Mauritius and we were there for like 5 days. So we were really just like working with what we had. Mauritius was like randomly the best port ever. Like it was literally so fun. Everyone loved Mauritius. And we were originally only supposed to have 1 day there and we got a long time in Mauritius. So that was really awesome. We're on the way to Cape Town. Then we find out that we are not going to Ghana or Morocco anymore. The plan now was that we were going to go to South Africa and then go to the Canary Islands in Spain. At this point, we're just like, I don't even care. Like, I just want to get on land. Like, take me wherever. I have some friends that were studying abroad in Spain, and so I was messaging them saying like, hey, like, how likely do you think this is that we're really going to get off in the Canary Islands? And all my friends there were saying it got really bad, like, overnight. Like, all of a sudden, there's so many cases in Spain. Like, we're all getting sent home, everything's shutting down, so I'm sorry, but there's just like no way that you guys are gonna come here. So I heard a rumor one morning that the voyage was actually just gonna end in Cape Town and they were just gonna end it early. I was like, once again, don't tell me because it's probably true. We get an email like a couple hours later. I still remember it. I was sitting at the pool with my friends and we get this email that said we had to end the voyage early and everyone has to get off the ship in Cape Town. I had really held it together like the whole voyage. Like I hadn't cried about anything. I'd been like really positive the whole time about all of the itinerary changes. You know, we're still traveling the world. We're still on this amazing cruise ship with like your best friends in the world. But that day I cried like 6 times.
I am so unwell. I'm so sad.
It was ending a month early now. At that point, I didn't even care about like the ports we lost. Like that was just out the window for me. You know, it is what it is. We're in a global health emergency, so it's like no one's fault. But for me, it was just leaving the people that I had met. You are together 24/7. You are always within. 1,000 feet of each other. You don't have your phones, you don't have internet, you don't have Netflix, so you hang out all the time. You just get so close and you have this really, really intense experience with them that no one else really like understands. You try and kind of like explain semester at sea to people, but you don't really like get it until you go on it, and that sounds so like annoying, but it's kind of the truth. You know, we didn't know when the next time we were gonna see each other was. It just hadn't been enough time with everyone. It was kind of heartbreaking, honestly. I know that sounds really dramatic, but it's like, it's such a significant part of my life. Having it like end early was just really, really sad. And I also feel like we spent a lot of time stressed and nervous about like, what's gonna happen next? Are we gonna get quarantined? Where are we gonna get off next? What's going on? So much of our time was spent like worrying about that I feel like it took away from time that I could have been like in the present, enjoying the moment. But I mean, it's hard. Packing up my room was horrible. I put it off for so long. I think I packed at like 4 a.m. the night before we left because I was like, if I just don't pack them, we're not gonna have to leave. We didn't get to have the alumni ball, which was something that everyone was really upset about. The alumni ball is like a tradition on semester at sea. Everyone gets dressed up and you like go and eat and like there's a celebration. So my friends and I all decided to just dress up really fancy and like go eat in Berlin and just have like the dining hall food. But that was still really fun. It was a great night. We would all play this game called Salad Bowl. It's like this really intense game of charades kind of that we played one of the first nights on the ship, and then that just happened to be like our squad. Like we all just became really good friends, and those are like my best friends from the voyage. So we played Salad Bowl, of course, on the last night in like our nice outfits in Kino Theater. So classes were finished online. They're actually not done yet. I still have a couple essays that I need to write. So we got off in Cape Town, and my friends and I traveled around South Africa for about a week before we had to go home because a lot of the borders started closing and our parents were getting worried that we weren't going to be able to get back into the US. So I'm home now. All of my friends are home. Overall, I've gotten a lot of questions that are like, are you still glad that you did semester at sea? And yeah, 100%. Like I would not have given up that experience for anything. Even with all of the ups and downs and everything that happened, it was the best 3 months of my life. I mean, I think about it every day. I'm gonna think about it every day for a long time. You know, I miss it. I would give anything to be stuck in the middle of the ocean again with my best friends. Honestly, they were some of the happiest days of my life, like days when we were just floating around in the middle of the ocean. I've also gotten asked a lot, are you gonna do semester at sea again? And I actually am, hopefully. I applied like yesterday. It was literally the day after I got off the plane, and I literally applied for another semester. So yeah, and a lot of my friend group is actually gonna do it again too, so hopefully we'll all go the same semester. But yeah, I hope this answers any questions that anyone had about our voyage. I hope that everyone is staying safe. Wash your hands, stay inside if you can. I still have footage from Mauritius and Cape Town and like disembarking and stuff, so I'm gonna put that together and make another vlog. I'm in self-quarantine, so I have a lot of extra time on my hands, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. If anyone has any questions about like semester at sea, anything, please ask me. I would love to answer your questions. If you are thinking about doing semester at sea, maybe we'll be on the same voyage. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day and stay safe.